right now on Fast Track News. We are just days away from electing new Purdue student government officers. We'll take a look at the candidates and the changes they want to make on campus.
Plus, the namesakes of Purdue's new band building are preparing for a big trip to space.
And we take a look at an unusual way some Purdue students are making extra money.
Good afternoon, Boilers. We hope you all had a great spring break. I'm Jaden Rusi.
And I'm Bellavina. It's Friday, March 25th, and in just 5 days, we will be electing a new student government president.
Do you plan to vote?
And you know who you are voting for? Reporter Abby Myers has a look at each of this year's candidates.
We'll talk about how connecting student organizations to each other can make them more effective. A lot of student organizations face the same problems but exist in isolation and don't communicate it with their governing body to get their point across and to make sure that we know the outlets to help them implement change and to solve their problems.
Last night, presidential and vice presidential candidates participated in a debate to inform students about their platforms. This is just one of many campaign events planned this week. Campaigning officially started last Wednesday, the 23rd, and will continue until voting closes on March 30th. This year, there are 6 different candidates running for president of student government, the most in at least 4 years. Each of the candidates spoke with us about their goals for the 2022-2023 school year. We spoke with each campaign about why they're running, and here's what they said.
So we tried to create sustainable plans, and I think one of our plan would be diversity and inclusion, and that essentially comes from recognizing cultures around Purdue, and we have seen that has lagged quite a bit here.
Like taking it on over it, what Samita essentially means is that we have 135 countries representing us over here at Purdue. On 18th of March, there was Holi. No one wished me apart from my friends. So, I mean, just acknowledging every culture that is out here and like just saying that, hey, happy Holi. Like that goes a long way, right? I mean, like having a very inclusive calendar of events that like others observe, like if there is Santa de Mayo, or like festivals that different cultures celebrate, like Lunar New Year. Me at First Street as an RA, I mean, we celebrated Diwali, celebrated Lunar New Year, which essentially don't pertain to the American culture, but like everyone came together and celebrated. I feel like, I mean, one big thing that Purdue lacks is the community. Like we have the love, we have the Boilermaker spirit, but sometimes like our friends, beyond our friends, we are not able to connect to other Boilermakers, partly because that there is shared values, but there is no platform to communicate that. And that's what we really truly need to work on.
I've noticed for a long time a real disconnect between Purdue student government and the student body at large. So what we want to try to do is foster a real relationship with, the student body by implementing policies, by implementing action items, by focusing on issues that really resonate with students, so that, we can sustain a solid, connection, not only between students and Purdue student government, but also so that students can, develop good connections and relationships with each other. That's fundamental, we believe is a fundamental pillar, not only of our campaign, but of student success here on campus. So that's why we chose to run.
Another reason for me personally was just the idea of representation. For me, it's like I'm an immigrant and I moved to America in 2016, so something like this, like having that power and, obtaining a power, like being the person I am, is also something I look forward to, and having that representation in Purdue and Purdue student government, I think is also like crucial for like younger generations.
Been a member of the student government for the last 1.5 years. Serving first as a director of sustainability and then one of the 2 executive directors of sustainability. And during my time, I've seen a lot of change that's gone on in the student government, but I've also seen a lot of inaction. And basically, I realized that none of the candidates currently on the ballots would provide that kind of change necessary to really empower students across this campus. So that's why I teamed up with Grace.
Yeah, and for me, I have experience through being one of the founding executive members of Me Too Purdue, so that has given me a massive passion for campus change here, for safety, which is one of our pillars that we're running on, and bringing that change into PSG, because we're hearing a lot of, I want voices to be amplified, we want them to move forward, and what we're trying to do is make sure that all voices are heard on campus, and even the ones that have been pushed down by the student government before.
So we just both wanted to, we saw the platform that we were able to give students in our respective colleges, but we saw the potential for both of us to combine our interests and what we've done in student government into a bigger platform, and the way to do that was to run for student body president. So I would say it has been, for me, definitely a dream for years now, so I'm very excited to talk to you today about our platform, and I'm excited to engage with the student body in this whole process.
Yeah, very similarly. I've worked on a lot of different projects within Purdue student government that I loved doing, and I wanted to utilize what I've done in the past and make it bigger on a wider scale through running for vice president. Those policy things can be really amplified by this position, and having those connections with the administrators that we already do could really make a big impact on Purdue's campus.
Us feel is paramount to the students at Purdue is mental health. This has been on the docket for years, and every year a campaign runs on mental health. But it's always these overarching themes of mental health and CAPS, and there's no concrete executable plans to get those into effect. And that is what the Willa for a Jen campaign actually provides, is a concrete pathway to get those things done. And for me, that is important. That is number one, because mental health supports your academic health. It supports all other varieties of wellness and well-being on campus.
I agree 100% with what Matt said. Mental health is of utmost importance on Purdue's campus, especially because Purdue is a hard school. It makes sure that you earn your degree. And making sure that you are doing academically well is related to making sure that you are doing mentally well. Our dropout rates would decrease, our GPAs would improve, Purdue would do better as a whole if it invested in mental health.
Main focus areas of our campaign really lie in 3 focus areas: health and safety, parking and wages, as well as centralized information.
So our 2 main priorities while we're in office are to first, directed towards health and safety, would be a subsidized Uber and Lyft program. So other schools in the Big Ten have this, such as IU, and we want to bring that to Purdue because that's definitely a strength of theirs that we need as well. So this leads into sexual assault prevention, and so bringing a way for students to get home safely at night and not having to fake a call or look over their shoulder constantly. Another thing that we really want to prioritize is centralized information, and within that, one comprehensive Purdue app. So there are thousands of resources that Purdue has, however, no one knows where to find them or if they even exist. So we want to make one app that will act as a home for all Purdue resources, dining menus, bus systems, and digital IDs, and much more.
Voting opens on March 27th, and students can vote online through BoilerLink or at any of the in-person voting stations that'll be set up around campus next week. Reporting for Fast Track News, I'm Abby Myers.
You can find more information about each of the campaigns and links to their websites on our Instagram page. And you can scan the QR code over our shoulder to access the BoilerLink voting page.
As soon as the results are released, we'll let you know on our next newscast and on our social channels. If you've driven along Harrison Street on the south end of campus, you've probably noticed a new veterinary hospital taking shape. While construction is wrapping up on the David and Bonnie Bruner Veterinary Medical Hospital Complex, the building will add 65,000 square feet to the existing hospital, along with 2 other buildings, an equine hospital and a farm animal hospital that will replace the current large animal hospital. You can take a tour during Springfest, which is coming up on Saturday, April 9th. Turning to weather now, if you spent spring break at the beach, you were probably not happy to return to the rainy gray skies.
But at least it's not snow. Meteorologist Stephen Abishire is here with us to look at this weekend's forecast. Please give us some good news.
I really don't have a lot of good news to go around. That rainy weather is going to stick around for the next few days, and we're going to be stuck in a bit of a cold spell as we move into this weekend and later into next week. As we take a look at what's going outside today, it's mostly cloudy skies with a chance of some precipitation at some points throughout the day, mainly just through scattered showers. It's going to be a high of 48 degrees today as we move later on into the afternoon, with winds coming out of the west at 6 to around 14 miles per hour, and sunset tonight after daylight savings is at 8:05. As we take a look at the forecast model for today into tomorrow morning, we've got some scattered showers moving through the area, nothing really substantial and no threat for some severe weather, but it is going to be rainy for some of the activities that will be going on later into this afternoon. As we take a look at our hourly forecast moving through the rest of today, noon today is going to be cloudy with 42 degrees with winds coming out of the north at around 11 miles per hour. As we move later on into the afternoon, we're going to have an increasing chance for some rain, 40% chance of rain at 3 and 6 o'clock this afternoon with around 45 degrees as a temperature. As we move into the overnight hours, by 9 o'clock it's going to be 43 degrees with 40% chance of rain and partly cloudy skies. As we move into near midnight, still 40% chance of rain, right around 39 degrees and partly cloudy skies.
Dean of Education Nancy Marchand-Martella will be stepping down from her position on July 1st. That's according to Purdue's Provost Jay Ackridge, who released a statement saying Purdue has launched a national search for the next dean. Marchand-Martella will be heading to the University of Colorado at Colorado Springs to become Provost and Executive Vice Chancellor of Academic Affairs. She was the first Purdue alumna to serve as Dean of Education. Purdue is thankful for her contributions and wishes her the best at Colorado.
The 14th Annual Challenge 5K is coming up on April 9th. 100% of the money raised goes to support cancer research here at Purdue. Since 2008, the challenge has generated more than $1 million. The race also provides the opportunity to honor those who are fighting cancer. You still have time to sign up. Registration closes at 9 a.m. on Friday, April 8th. The race takes place the 9th at Ross-Ade Stadium. It begins at 8:30 a.m.
Former U.S. Secretary of State Madeleine Albright died this week. Purdue hosted Albright for a speaking engagement on campus back in 2013. Purdue President Mitch Daniels issued a statement saying in part that it was one of his greatest privileges to host her for a day on campus.
He added that, quote, "She reminded us that the U.S. is an indispensable nation, and we can honor her memory by supporting Ukraine and welcome those who would like to bring their talents and dreams to this land of freedom and opportunity."
Purdue alum Mark Hagel and his wife Sharon are part of the next crew of Blue Origin's mission to space. The couple, who gave a generous $10 million gift toward the new band and orchestra building, just arrived at the astronaut village yesterday. Their flight was originally scheduled for Wednesday of this week, but it was postponed to next Tuesday. The Hagels will be the first married couple to fly into space on a commercial vehicle. Plasma, the liquid part of your blood, contains proteins and antibodies that can help treat cancer and other health issues. And there's a demand for donations, and you might even get paid.
It's similar to giving blood, but it takes a little bit longer. Reporter Maddie Kamatz talks with Purdue students about their thoughts on donating. Maddie?
Organizations across the country need healthy adults to donate plasma, and CSL Plasma right below campus is a great place to do so, and you can even earn some cash by doing your part. Plasma makes up over 50% of whole blood and is used for life-saving therapies due to the proteins that make it up. When a person donates, a machine splits the plasma from the blood and returns the platelets back to the donor. The process in total takes about 45 minutes, but first-time donations take longer for additional screening. TikToks have been going viral about college students making money from donating plasma, and CSL offers many special deals for new donors who come in and complete the donation process. CSL Plasma currently has signs outside their building stating you can earn hundreds of dollars by donating. I spoke with students about donating plasma and whether they would ever consider doing it.
I've definitely heard that people do it for money. So I've heard that that's like a big reason people do it. But aside from that, I don't know much about it. I think there was one time that I tried to do it and they were like, oh, your veins are not good enough or something like that. But aside from that, mainly money is what I've heard about it.
I've heard it's a great way to make money. That, there's a lot of benefits to it, and obviously you're helping save people's lives, so it's really a win-win situation.
To donate plasma, you must be at least 18 years old, at least 110 pounds, and in good health. I'm Maddie Kamatz, reporting for Fast Track News.
Though donating plasma is said to be pretty safe, it is still a medical procedure.
And like any medical procedure, there could be minor side effects, so it's always best to ask your doctor before donating.
Up next, how about those Boilers? We've danced our way into the Sweet 16, but just how far do students think we can go?
And as we get closer to SpringFest on April 9th, we'll continue to preview all the areas of campus you can explore. Fast Track is back right after this.
Although Purdue's mask requirement in classrooms and labs dropped on March 14th, this was the first week many of you got to see your classmates and instructors' faces since last week was spring break.
And checking the Protect Purdue COVID-19 dashboard, the positivity rate is up just slightly to 1.71% with a total of 21 cases on campus in the past 7 days. 6 isolation and quarantine beds are in use, compared to 1 occupied bed before break. After 2 years, Purdue Aviation Day is back. According to the university, it is on track to be their largest event since the start of it in 1911. This year's theme is Aviation Reunited, welcoming everyone back to the celebration. It is a public, open-access free event welcome to the community members, prospective students, industry partners, and aviation enthusiasts alike. Guests can expect to enjoy a wide variety of aircraft displays from general to military aviation. It will be held at the Purdue University Airport during Springfest on April 9th from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m.
I don't know about you, Bella, but my bracket is busted. Except for a couple teams like Purdue, of course, who can still bring it back to life.
Campus is buzzing about tonight's Sweet 16 game, where the Boilers will take on the Cinderella story St. Peter's Peacocks. Reporter Jack Syria talks to March Madness fans about the state of their brackets and just how far they think Purdue can go.
Awful. So over spring break, I had a lot of extra time. I made 25 brackets. Ironically, my best bracket right now has Purdue in the championship game.
Everything got shattered day one. Sister goes to Colorado State, so I had them in the Final Four, got smacked.
This is like probably the closest team that Purdue's had in a very long time to win the national championship. I am more than confident that they can do it.
Oh, I think we can win it. I think we have a pretty decent route. I think our depth on the team is going to be to our benefit, but you never know. I mean, it's March Madness for a reason.
I'm just riding on Purdue. That's my big bet right now.
I think the one and only team that can win the national championship is the Boilers.
The only people or only team that's in their way from winning the national championship is themselves. So I definitely think that they can pull it off.
And we unfortunately have a traitor among us here in Bella.
Even though I will always and forever be a Purdue fan, I do love St. Peter's story.
I just don't know how I feel about that. We'll have more on tonight's matchup later in sports.
And how's the weather in Philly for that game tonight? Meteorologist Stephen Abshire has a look at that. Plus, Stephen, when will the rain move out?
For any of you Boilers who are lucky enough to be going to that Sweet 16 matchup tonight in Philadelphia, it's going to feel a lot nicer there than it will be here. It's going to be 57 degrees at 5 p.m. there in Philadelphia with partly cloudy skies. As we move closer to tip-off, which will be right after 7 o'clock, partly cloudy as well with 55 degrees as the temperature. And by 9 o'clock as that game will be wrapping up, 53 degrees with partly cloudy skies. Here, it's not going to feel that nice as we move later on into this weekend. For today, mostly cloudy skies with a 40% chance of rain showers. High right around 48 degrees and a low of 30. As we move later on into the weekend, we're going to see those temperatures continue to decline, and tomorrow's not going to be nice at all. 30% chance for mixed precipitation. That is some snow flurries for a chance in the early morning hours. We're going to be 15 degrees below average for most of central Indiana. Just a high of 40 and a low of 26. And Sunday's going to be very similar. You know, I put nicest day of the weekend, but it's not going to be really nice. It's just going to be dry. The Friday and Saturday, we can't say that. Still 15 to 20 degrees below average, a high of 40 and a low of 26. And as we take a look at what we're going to be having on the show as we move later on into the show, rain chances for next week, when this warmth will return as we move later into the 7-day forecast, and end of the week storm chances, and the chance for some high precipitation totals.
Being involved in the 3-year program at Purdue made it easier to say to myself I could get done in 3 years. The 3-year program helped save me a ton of money. Not completing my 4th year, I would save around $30,000. It will give you an advantage, if anything. Doing the 3-year program at Purdue has shown me that I have motivation to do whatever it takes to get my degree.
Earlier in the show, we mentioned that it's going to be cold this weekend. As we take the surface temperatures for the next few days, we can see that blue Arctic cold. It's really going to sink down into central Indiana. We can see it falling down all the way into the upper 20s as we move into Saturday morning and into Saturday night. it's going to be really cold. So make sure you bundle up. Winter, the calendar might say it's spring, but winter is still going to be kicking around here for at least the next few days. As we take a look at the national forecast for today, it's actually fairly calm for most of the U.S. There's a chance for some rain and some snow for parts of the upper Great Lakes. This is what's tracking down towards the southeast, bringing us a few rain chances as we move later throughout the day today. That low pressure system up to the north, that's what moved through earlier this week, bringing us a lot of rain on Wednesday and Thursday, but that's pretty much moved up into Canada. It's not going to have much of an effect for the eastern United States, and we can see there are some showers off to the east coast of the Atlantic. But behind us, a big high pressure system that's going to be bringing some nice weather for most of the U.S. for today, and it's a slow moving system. So really for the next few days, moving into early next week, we're going to have some dry temperatures for most of the U.S. and not a lot of chances for low pressure systems to bring us some, what we would expect for this time of the year, some severe weather. As we take a look at what we're going to be having for tonight's game, bit of a doubleheader with both baseball and softball having games at Alexander Field. It's going to be 47 degrees at 4 p.m. for the beginning of the baseball game with mostly cloudy skies, and we do have a 40% chance for rain, which will linger for the rest of this evening. So make sure to bring an umbrella and a jacket if you are going to be going out to those games tonight. By 6 o'clock at the end of the baseball game, it's going to be mostly cloudy with temperatures right around 45 degrees, and by 8 o'clock, mostly cloudy with temperatures right around 41 degrees. As we take a look at what the forecast will be having for early next week, we can see we do have a few chances for some rain systems to begin to move through. Early on Sunday, moving into Tuesday, we can see some scattered showers begin to develop over central Indiana, and behind us is what we're going to be experiencing for late next week. But we can see that there's going to be a lot of rain moving into the next few days. As we take a look at the 5-day forecast for here in West Lafayette, on Friday today it's going to be a high of 48 with a low of 30 with a 40% chance for showers. For this weekend it's going to be pretty cold, 40 on Saturday and on Sunday with a low of 26 with mostly cloudy skies on Saturday and some rain chances. And on Sunday, pretty much going to be dry, but it is going to be cold. Moving into Monday and Tuesday, we're going to see a bit of a warm-up. 45 degrees on Monday with a low around 34 with partly sunny skies, and much warmer on Tuesday, closer to average what we'd expect for this time of the year with a high of 56 and a low of 44.
I'm Sean English, and next in sports. Purdue danced its way into the Sweet 16, but can they get past this year's Cinderellas? We'll take a look at what they need to do to pound the Peacocks. Plus, baseball and softball are playing at home this weekend. Don't go away. Fast Track is back after this. Our Boilers danced their way into the Sweet 16, taking care of Yale and Texas with both double-digit victories. We have bounced back, coming from a tough loss in the Big Ten championship game. Great team performance secured our win, including dominating the post and making over 25 free throws in both games. Our big three with Edie, Williams, and Ivy continue to take over these games. Our seniors don't want this season to end. Listen to the future Purdue Hall of Famer Travion Williams talk about these last 4 years.
What I've been through with those guys, I'm sorry, I have no voice. I've been screaming all day. Man, but just knowing what I've been through with those guys, man, it means a lot to be in this position. You know, this is what we work for. Like I said, we put ourselves in this position, and we fall to the end, man. And I think everybody, you know, obviously last year we lost in the first round, but you know, I said it before, I say it all the time. It's good to have guys come back that's been through it. I think everybody's been through it, and they knew what was on the line. They knew what it meant to, you know, our seniors. So, you know, everybody came out to play, and, you know, we played our hardest, and we got it done. So,
I hope Cinderella never finds the other shoe for our game tonight against the 15-seed St. Peter's. It is never easy going against an underdog, but the game plan for success is very, very simple. I like to call it the race to 7. If we can be the first team shooting free throws in both halves, we will win this game. Our size is a tough matchup for the Peacocks, and we need to get them in foul trouble early. They only have one person above 6'9", and he is a sophomore averaging under 10 minutes per game. Good ball movement and smart defense, and we can choo-choo our way to the Elite Eight. We play tonight at 7:09 in Philly in Wells Fargo Center, which is a good sign for us, for our big men, because the bank will be open. Our Lady Boilers saw their season end in the NIT tournament last Monday with a 62-77 loss to Marquette. Senior Brooke Moore had back-to-back 20-plus games to finish her senior season. Thank you, seniors, and we are all very excited to see what Coach Katie Geralds can do in her second season next year.
This afternoon, the red-hot Purdue Boilermaker baseball team will be taking on the Ohio State Buckeyes at 4 p.m. here at Alexander Field. The Boilermakers come into this game with an impressive 17-1 record, and that can be accredited to their phenomenal pitching staff thus far. The Purdue pitching staff leads the Big Ten with a 2.69 earned run average, and they are also third in innings. Top performers this season for the Purdue Boilermakers are starting pitcher Jackson Smeltz, who has logged 27 1/3 innings, striking out 44 batters, and posting a 2.3 earned run average. To go along with him, reliever Landon Wines has struck out 22 batters in 7 appearances while only allowing 2 runs thus far. In this game, pitching is winning, so let's see if the Boilermakers can keep it rolling. And now for the Purdue softball team, who is beginning a homestand tonight at 6 p.m. against the Fighting Illini of Illinois. The Boilermakers started off this season a bit cold, but thanks to a recent 6-game winning streak, they are maintaining an above 500 record at 17-15. Keep an eye out for senior Rachel Becker, who is leading the team with a .383 batting average and a .585 slugging percentage. Contributing big time is also the Purdue softball ace, Alex Echazarreta, another senior, who has posted an incredible 1.94 earned run average over 14 games. Also in that span, she has struck out a mind-blowing 73 batters while holding opponents to a feeble .206 batting average. Will Purdue keep their momentum going? Find out tonight at 6 p.m. For Fast Track News, this is Jack Saria.
That's a wrap for sports. Fast Track will be back after this quick timeout.
So it really started, I want to say, probably 40 or 50 years ago. There were a couple guys in the SEA who wanted to fight on Purdue's campus because they were Purdue students. It's also spread out into multiple kind of divisions. So there's the heavy armor division, which is the big leather metal fighting, and that's probably somewhere between 8 to 12 people. There's the fencing side, which is a lot more people. I want to say probably somewhere between 15 and 20 on a good night. And then there's singing, there's dancing, and those all vary from probably 10 to 12 people at a time. They're all really just salt-of-the-earth people. They've been good friends to me, and actually I kind of consider members of my family at this point.
Earlier in this show, we alluded that there is a chance for some big storm systems to move through at the end of next week. And as you can see on the forecast behind me, this shows from Wednesday into Friday, a big system will be making its way through the Midwest and including central Indiana, giving us some chances for some high precipitation. And for right now, we don't know if there will be severe weather associated with this storm, but we wouldn't rule anything out as it will be nearing closer to April, where we traditionally see some severe weathers begin to pop up. As we take a look at our 7-day forecast, what to expect for the rest of this week going into Monday, high of 45 and a low of 34, so it will be a little bit warmer than what we're expecting for this weekend. Partly sunny skies. As we move into Tuesday, even more of a warm up, 56, which will be right around average for this time of the year, with a low of 44 and a 30% chance for rain. And on Wednesday and Thursday, those are going to be our greatest chance to see some accumulating rainfall. 50% chance for showers on Wednesday with mostly cloudy skies, back into the 60s with a high of 61 and a low of 50. And on Thursday, again, another chance for showers with a high of 60 and a low of 48.
That's it for this week's edition of Fast Track News. Thanks for watching.
Join us again next week for news, weather, and sports from around campus.